here we are with Ania Sowinski. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's how you pronounce it. Well done.
We're going to attempt a podcast. This may go wrong. That is the title of this episode. My first question that I wrote down is, are you single?
Yes, I'm on Raya.com. You can look me up. It's the dating site.
All the gentlemen here now can say.
Yeah, happily single. Yeah.
Message me later.
Your pad's down there if you need to get Ras as organised as ever for a podcast.
So, I think we've known each other for a long time, haven't we?
About 18 years.
Yeah, and we've done a lot of improv.
We have.
And our parallels in the acting world are, we feel like the white but not quite. Don't we? How do you feel as an actor?
Okay, but I think you need to expand on what white but not quite means for people that are listening, because that was our little phrase.
Why don't you expand on it then?
Okay, so we had a conversation once, didn't we, about our names, because I have a very foreign name, and Ania Sowinski it's not an English name. You are Raffaello De Gratola.
I actually can't believe you got that right.
Thank you. And I've actually had casting directors call my agent and go, yeah, we love the look of her, but how's her English? And I was born and raised in this country. I went to the top girls' school in the country, and I'm very much a British UK citizen. And so our names, the conversation was our names have sort of stood against us when being considered for certain projects.
Do you think they have then, or is that just our...
No, I really believe they do.
Do you?
I believe... put it this way, in the past year, it's something I've really thought about since our conversation, because I'm not joking. I think there's 3 jobs I've been for in the last 3 years, and every single actress that has got the job has been called Lydia something, which is a very, very British sort of a name. And I did actually joke with my agent. I was like, do you think we should change my name to Lydia? I mean, just call me Lydia. And then...
Do you think it's more not just about Lydia, but maybe having a very palatable English name, rather than even all the guys in this room, Poya, Krishan, we've all got sort of names that aren't
But wasn't it you that said, look on IMDb, there's all the British actors or actresses that are doing well all have very... Lydia Smith.
There was a rhythm, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a rhythm to the sort of name, and I think they do sound all very British, which is fine, but, you know, because I've got a foreign name doesn't mean I'm not...
Well, how about this then, so we're not always...
Also, by the way, I've been acting since I was 10 in this country. My first job was at the National Theatre, so to not... Do you know what I mean? That's 30 years of work to still be asked how my English is. It's quite astonishing.
Yeah. Whereas if you were in America...
they love it. Ania. I love your name.
Just think you're American.
Ania, your name's beautiful.
They just think you're American. So
yeah.
Be accepted, yeah.
Exotic.
But on the positive note, so we just... we're not
I still love the Brits. We can't slag off the Brits.
And we're not driving just a negative narrative.
No.
You have been able to explore yourself in this country.
As an actor?
Yeah, you have a bit.
A bit, but I'd say in the last 10 years, the majority of my roles, I play Eastern Europeans. In fact, 98% of my roles, I play Eastern Europeans.
In television?
In television. Yeah.
And what about...
Oh no, in Men in Black, I played Eastern European.
Did you?
Yeah, an Eastern European alien, I might add.
Not a cleaner?
Not a cleaner. No, but I did get in bed with Chris Hemsworth.
Oh,
so that's fun,
okay. One of those Eastern Europeans.
Eastern European prostitute.
What was
basically. Prostitute alien.
Was that a good experience?
It was fun, yeah. It's quite mad going on such a huge film that's just out of control in all aspects.
Yeah, you do the love interest well, don't you? Because the other one was Eddie the Eagle.
Yes, but the scene in Eddie the Eagle never made the film.
Which is such a shame, because I've seen
I know. It was all improvised, actually, that scene as well. Because Hugh Jackman's character, initially in the script, was supposed to be this sort of womanizer. As his, this alcoholic, sort of ex-Olympic ski extraordinaire that was a womanizer. There was an original scene in the script that was cut before we even started shooting, actually, where, he bedded a young hippie skier girl, and but that all got cut, and I think there was a scene in Heathrow Airport, and Dexter Fletcher, our brilliant director, was like, okay, you know what, we haven't had you, Hugh, chatting up any women, and he's supposed to be this gorgeous sort of, and you're gorgeous and sexy in this, And so he just said, look, you two, can you just sort of flirt?
And you skipped the flirt and then went straight for the tongue. I've seen the scene.
No, unfortunately,
but you did it with an English accent.
That film was very much a British accent.
Which is...
But very frankly Queen's
now,
English.
Can I ask a question about that then? Because this is the interesting part of being in the business and having creative relationships, which will lead us into the films we've done together. You and Dexter have worked together before, so he knew you weren't Eastern European.
No, we hadn't worked together before. I've just known Dexter from one of my first boyfriends was in a big series called Band of Brothers, and Dexter and his wife lived literally on the same road as my boyfriend, and they used to share a car into set, and I went into set maybe twice, onto set of Band of Brothers rather, and that's how I met Dexter, and then we sort of just then kept knowing each other through the industry.
Yeah.
And then he auditioned me for his very first film, Wild Bill, which I didn't get. And then he auditioned me for Eddie, and then I got it. So that was the first time we'd worked together.
But and it was good that he kind of knew who you were as
Absolutely,
an actor.
Yeah.
Sowinski and
to
play an English role, which was nice.
Yeah, and they put me through my paces for even a small role. I mean, I had to audition like 3-4 times for that role.
What's it like working with him as a director?
Oh, he's brilliant. I've never felt, sorry Raph, but I've never felt such joy on a set.
Okay, let's cut the That's because I gave you a small part.
As you know, my part in Flim was bigger.
Yeah, that's
but no, actually I did joy in a different way. Like Flim was just very, very hilarious, constantly the improv.
No, honestly, talk about
Dexter. But Dexter brings this sort of crazy high energy onto a set. Yeah. For every department, though, he really does rule the ship, so to speak, and keeps everyone very buoyant. I don't think I've ever seen him on a set be stressed once, although I guess his stress comes out in even more sort of madness. But he's very, very joyful. He just wants the best for everybody. He's great with actors because he was an actor all his life.
Our next point.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest things I've come across.
Me too.
Working with even myself as an actor, when I work with people that have acted or have had some sort of creative entry through writing, or I don't know what it is, it's just a bit easier sometimes.
Well, I think there's just sort of maybe just an unspoken understanding of what we're doing and putting ourselves up for. And I remember Dexter saying something to me once on Eddie, which was like, as an ex-actor, he said, I'm very aware that, we're the people as actors, you're the person at the forefront on the big screen, so it can be terrifying sometimes. And that you have to respect that. And actors get labelled difficult sometimes, but sometimes it's just, we're just scared, because we want it to be great and we don't want it, we want, as a lead, or if you're playing a lead, you're holding a even not as a lead, but you're part of a collaboration and you're all on the screen. You're the people that are on the screen that everyone's watching. So it can be a terrifying thing sometimes, and we all have insecurities. So,
but if you're with the right team,
it's joyful. I mean, it's easy ride.
Yeah,
it's an easy ride. They make it sort of seamless.
Yeah.
And
so
still have bad days, but
so somebody working on huge films, really the difference between that and a micro low budget film apart from the money behind it, the ethos has to be the same.
Yeah, there's no difference.
Yeah.
And I don't think even how films run these days.
Right.
I've been on huge... Can you still hear me? I've been on huge budget films and they're just as crazy.
Yeah.
Like, just as disorganised or chaotic or schedules changing last minute. Yeah, okay, they've got more money for... Sorry, this is really moving now. For visual effects and whatever else, but... No, that was fine where I had it.
Well,
sorry, my mic's just moved.
We can edit this.
But they're and they've got more, on a big budget film, there's more leisurely time, let's say, not always, but to change things. But they're just as crazy and chaotic. It doesn't make a difference if you've got a good director on a low budget that you get on with and trust.
Thanks for pointing at me. I was waiting for that. And actually, we're filming this, but all I've got is your left arm.
No, your left arm. I'm in it.
Oh, right. This could make one of my movies.
How do you think? Do you need glasses?
Maybe. What do you like on the set? How do you like to work?
I'm a very spontaneous actor. So I'm not somebody, unless there's a really big, intense scene that sits in my sort of character, because in life I'm generally an overthinker, and I feel with my acting, if I'm overthinking, it's not coming from a real place. So I prefer to be spontaneous. I get told off a lot for joking about on set, but it's my way of not overthinking what I'm about to do.
Staying in the moment.
Yeah, well, no, it allows me to be in the moment when I'm acting.
Yeah.
So I'm not thought about it, and I can be present and respond and react, rather than, well, I've thought this out and planned this out how it's going to be, you know.
Does improvisation help you with that at all?
It does. I find improvisation really difficult. I don't think it's easy, improvisation. I think it's one of the hardest things to do, because I think a good improviser has to be a very smart human being.
Thank you. Sorry, did I say that? Oh, go on.
Interestingly, I worked with Leslie Manville on a short film last year, and you know, she's worked with Mike Lee a lot.
Yeah.
Have you worked with Mike Lee?
I haven't, no. But I know the scene you mean, because I've seen it.
And I do recall, and forgive me, Leslie, if I've got this wrong, but Leslie sort of saying to me, you know, everyone thinks Mike Lee is about improvisation. It's not. It's actually very structured, and they improvise to start with to find certain things. I think this is what she said to me. Don't entirely quote me, but then the whole thing is structured and scripted, so it's very prepared, because I don't believe on film unless you've got some sort of structure in place, or someone that really is driving it. For instance, you on Flim, that literally lived that character for about 3 years, would call me up as Ravi.
It's ongoing.
I think it's an incredibly difficult thing. So it does help. What improvisation for me really helps is to get rid of my barriers. Filters and anything, my self-talk of you're not good enough, or you don't know what you're doing, and just to sort of break free from myself and let anything happen, which is really difficult sometimes.
Well, what was good that day, because I think the first day you came in for Flim, is everybody had a particular idea, and like you said, that the sort of lead character was driving it, but it was still an opportunity for everybody else to bring their character right.
Absolutely.
And everything was listened to.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, we've done some improv classes